Welcome, welcome! It's Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy bringing you another Star Citizen video. And today I thought I would bring you another update from 3.11 that some of you may have not realized that's changed. This is a pretty big one too. For all you mercenaries that like to do the different missions around the system, you're going to eventually end up doing the Hurston Evict Illegal Occupants mission. This is just one that they've had in the game for quite a while now. You would get it in, or when you're near Hurston. The mission is to go down to one of the many stations that are down in Hurston, and there are some bad guys that have infiltrated one of the outposts. You're going to have to take out the turrets and go in and take out the 8 bad guys that are inside. Used to, this mission was super easy to do. I could do it solo all day long. I can still do it solo, but not without the right tools. As you're going to see pretty early on here, that choosing just a Cuddy Red with some repeaters or even some repeaters and distortion weapons, not a good choice. I could probably do this with a Cuddy Red with some more powerful guns, but the choice of guns I have on it are more geared towards, I guess, fighter combat, fighting other ships, not towards ground installations or turrets. So I'm going to struggle a little bit here. I'm going to struggle a lot. These guns, these turrets that are now around these facilities on Hurston have been upgraded. I believe they are firing size 5 guns because they do some nasty damage when they hit. Obviously, I haven't been hit too much here, but you're going to start seeing me get nailed. Like, okay, so now they're starting to do damage. They're taking down shields. They're taking pieces off of my ship. I'm having to run away. And it doesn't seem like my weapons are doing any damage. They're all size 3 weapons. You'd think they would do a little bit of damage. And now they've taken down another shield and done some more damage to my ship. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'll put her down and I'll walk in on foot. That way, I can stand losing the ship. I just have to, hope and pray that I don't get taken out by one of the infantry. I feel like I'm confident enough I can do the mission without having to have a med bed. But it's nice to have the Cuddy Red's med bed. As you can see here, I am getting nailed while I'm on the ground, through the trees, across the hills, etc. And I end up dying. So we go to take 2. Cuddy Red number 2. This is a stock Cuddy Red, which is why I thought this would be any better, I don't know. The gimbals I thought would be able to fire on target a little easier than the fixed, with such a nasty barrage headed my way. I also wanted to come in really low, maybe get close enough I could come in on foot, but they started hitting me before I got as close as I would really like to be. So, I'm contemplating, should I just put her down here and walk 1,600 meters? Well, they're still hitting me. So I thought, well, maybe I can get a little closer and I can bail out before the ship explodes. Well, again, these are like size 5 guns on these turrets. They are really nasty. I took a little damage when I hit the tree there, but my shields are still fairly intact until I start getting nailed here by the guns. Again, these are some really nasty turrets, so I highly recommend that you come prepared. Don't bring a Cuddy Red with stock ammunition, stock weapons. Bring something that's going to hit hard, because you're going to need that to take down these turrets. They will take down a fighter shield very quickly. So at this point, I'm like, okay, maybe I can bail out in time. Maybe. Probably not. So I'm going to choose the right tool for the right job. Enter the 600i of Doom. In case you didn't know, this is an Origin 600i. It is a fairly good sized ship. It's mostly geared towards exploring or touring. This is the Legatus version, the executive version, so it's all painted in gold. Now, there's nothing better about it than any of the other 600i's. They just gave it a better paint job, or a different paint job. Can't even say it's better. It's nice, but yeah, it's not better. So this 600i of Doom, I call it, because I put some rather big shields on there. I put Class A military shields on it. I've got Class A coolers on it, a Class A Class A everything on it. As much Class A as I can put on it as possible. And now, usually I would have the repeaters on here, but since fixed weapons became a thing, you know, I don't go with rhinos on this anymore. I am fine with the M7As. Although I haven't tried the Galadrin repeaters. So I might try those on here eventually, but the M7As still pack a pretty good punch. Those are size 5 fixed weapons, so I'm going against turrets that fire size 5 guns. Why not fire some size 5s back at them? I wonder how this thing is going to hold up. Will it take damage? Will the shields get taken down? I've got coolers from a javelin on this thing. You heard me right. My javelin's coolers are on this thing to help cool, you know, between shots and stuff. So it should be quite sufficient at being able to produce some heat. Matter of fact, if I was a little wiser, I probably would have overclocked my weapons into this particular mission. But I didn't. I decided to go in the way it was and see how it would go. There is some really pretty cloud cover here. Now, the cloud effects really aren't in the game like they're going to be. So this should actually improve quite a bit from where it's at. But, you know, I thought it was quite pretty, you know, coming in with some of this low-level clouds. And, you know, once I break the cloud cover, the combat's probably going to be engaged. So I was just going to take the time to enjoy some of the beauty from multiple different angles as I fly down here to the surface of Hurston, this dirty, filthy, wretched planet with heavy gravity. And yeah. So here we go. We're about 9.5 clicks away. I'm going to try to scan to see if I can pick up the turrets. That was not going to happen. It should happen. Why not? I mean, shouldn't we be able to ping a surface subject? I mean, I guess if it's not powered on, then you probably wouldn't catch it. But theoretically, they're always powered on. They're defending that facility. So I don't know. It takes quite a while for me to actually be able to target these things. Actually, they're going to open fire on me before I even get a chance to target them. So they have much better scanners than I do, evidently. That's something I will have to upgrade in this 600i. Now, I do have a couple other 600i's, and I have some plans for those. They're probably not going to be in my inventory too much longer, so we will see. You know, we've got the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo coming up, so maybe there'll be some upgrades coming into my fleet. Although I feel like I have a pretty solid fleet as it is. So now I'm within 3 clicks of this facility, and I still can't target these guys. Now I can finally target them, and I've got shots coming in left and right at me. Yeah, I'm gonna dodge left, dodge right, up, down. Not really. This thing is not going to dodge any kind of incoming fire. It's not that nimble. So we are just going to head straight at one of these turrets and start shooting it. And I'm going to start taking some damage, or at least they're going to start impacting my shields. If you look at my shields, the recharge rate on them is so crazy good that even with all 4 of these turrets nailing me, my shields aren't getting below 90, I don't think. It might dip down into the 80s, but that's the most that's happening, and they're hitting me square in the face. So kudos to the shields on the 600i. Yeah, they are pretty fantastic when you have Class A shields. And I believe those are just size 3 F8 or F86s that I have on here. So yeah, I mean, if you can put those shields on your ship, you're going to be in good shape. It's going to withstand a lot of damage. Obviously, it's not going to hold back a torpedo from one of the torpedo bombers, but most of the guns out there, it's going to take quite a while for them to bring down the shields of this ship. As I bring down the ship towards the planet to give it a good parking job. Let me change the camera angle here so I can get a better view of my landing area that I'm trying to put her down on. It's grass. I have a lot of grass. Okay, well, that looks good. Why not? And we're down. You get a little better look at the 600i now as I'm exiting the seat and I'm about to exit the ship. So, The first part of this video, I wanted to illustrate having the right tools for the right job as far as taking out those turrets. There's no such thing as overkill. Always remember that. Now, later on when the game has a little more economy and it costs a lot more to take one of these ships out, then you're going to have to try to balance that. But personally, I would rather overkill and not take any damage than have to fix up a ship that takes damage from doing this that may not cost as much to run, because eventually those repairs are going to come back and bite you. It's going to rise the cost of doing business. So there is another aspect of the right tool for the right job, and that is going to be in the guns that you choose when you actually enter the bunker to take on the outlaws. There are a lot of good guns in the game. The P8 is a fantastic gun. The Custodian is a really good gun. But, I mean, really, all of the guns can be pretty good if you know how to use them, if you've got a lot of practice on them. These two guns in particular are a lot of fun. One of them is the plasma rifle, the Gallant, and the other is the it's Castex. What is it? Castex something or another. It's another assault rifle, and you don't see too many people use it very often. And I actually really enjoyed this gun. I really enjoyed both of these guns. They may become my new favorites. I only like using the P8s because a lot of outlaws will use the P8s or the P4s and they'll drop them when you shoot them, and you can just pick them up and hey, you got plenty of ammo to put in there and use. I'm also going to run with a Coda pistol. I love the Coda pistol. It just looks like something a Texan would carry. I mean, it's a little 6-shooter, big 6-shooter that packs a mighty punch. That's the biggest thing. This thing will drop enemies in 1 or 2 shots almost every time. Obviously there are still some interesting bugs when you go to shoot weapons. Things somehow get in the way, that sort of thing. But you can see I'm headshotting this guy. He drops. This is just a really good pistol. It's my favorite pistol, bar none. The bar of electron pistols, not even close. As far as I'm concerned, this is the one that I want to carry 9 times out of 10. The biggest problem is it's only a 6-shooter, so you got to make your shots count. This bad boy, it comes with a 30-round magazine, and the way the game is right now, it's got a bug with magazines, so I could only carry 1 extra. I really wish I could have carried a lot more. I'm having a hard time pulling the trigger right now because of another bug. I try reloading. I'm going to try inspecting the guns. Nothing seems to work. I feel like it's almost blind luck that I get my gun to actually start firing. But this guy starts firing at me first. So, yeah, I'm switching guns. I'm wanting to fire back at this guy. He hits me a couple times. My armor must have been able to, take care of some of that damage without me suffering any. Now this thing's going to fire, and I fired 5 rounds off of that little burst. That's how fast this assault rifle fires. Now I fired another 10 rounds right in that guy's chest and face. So this thing fires rounds like crazy. The C-54, the Gemini gun that just came out, I don't think it fires quite as fast. It's probably pretty close. The rate of fire on both of those guns is pretty ridiculous. This one, I feel like I have more control over than the C-54. And I don't know, it just seems like a much cooler gun to handle, so I'll probably be using that. Here you can see some of the issues with, my gun hitting the railing and stuff, hitting the piping, and not hitting the guy that it's aimed directly at. So yeah, some bugs, definitely still some bugs with some parts of those missions. I don't know if that's a desync thing or if that's just a clipping thing. They need to go back and redo their rails. I don't really know. Luckily, it didn't bite me in the butt, and I was able to get some kills, even though a lot of my shots were, bouncing off of railings. So I'm down to 11 rounds in this gun. I will have to switch to another gun after the next kill. really the best thing with some of these missions is slow and easy. The 890 jump mission, you kind of have to be a little bit more, you have to fight with a little more urgency in that mission because you have to take down the hacking terminal as well. But this particular mission, you can take your time, find your targets, and eliminate your targets. I did take a test round there in the Gallant to make sure that I didn't have the same jamming problem I had earlier, or bug that I had earlier with it wouldn't fire. There's only a couple of bad guys left, and I'm looking forward to trying this gun out in this patch. Do they make changes to guns between patches? Well, on occasion. I do, like I said, I do like how both of these guns fire. This one obviously won't do quite the same damage that some of the other guns do. It's got more rounds in the magazine, and it's a laser gun, so I don't know why they've decided that, but like the pistol that's a laser firing pistol as well doesn't do as much damage as, you know, like the Coda or maybe the L86s, those type guns. Yeah, again, I don't know why they decided to make laser guns a little worse. Maybe they're going to be better against certain targets and certain armors. I don't know. But guys, I really want to thank you for tuning in and watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Thank you to my Patreon and YouTube members for all your support. If you want to join those two prestigious clubs, you can do that in the description down below. Also, we have a new website. We have a new gilded setup for the org. We still have our Discord. You can definitely check that out as well. That's going to be, still one of my homes. So definitely get on the Discord. If you want to contribute in some other way other than YouTube or Patreon, you can do that by watching the ads, clicking on them. You don't have to buy anything. If you watch them all the way through and you click on them, though, it brings revenue into the channel, and I definitely appreciate that. You guys have saved my bacon the last couple of months. That's it. I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy, and I'll see you guys out in the verse.